So I think it's safe to say that we're probably all huge fans of the MCU and everything that Marvel Studios is doing. And while it's always been said that Marvel has a quote-unquote villain problem, they have produced some truly memorable antagonists like Loki, Killmonger, and Thanos. But today, we're not going to be looking at who is the greatest or most popular Marvel villain. No, we're going to be taking a look at who is the strongest or most powerful villain. Who can hold their own best in a fight. But let's just lay down a few ground rules first. For starters, we'll just be considering villains from the movies, not the Netflix or TV shows. Because as great as Kingpin or Kilgrave are, there are already more than enough villains, and we just have to cut it off somewhere. Secondly, intelligence will play a factor in all of this, but physical strength, powers, and fighting skills are much more important. We are talking about who is the most powerful and who can hold their own best in a fight here, after all. Lastly, if the villain is an army or a company at their disposal, that's not going to factor too much into this list. Because honestly, it makes things kind of unnecessarily confusing. Like, Justin Hammer is in charge of Hammer Industries, and Red Skull is in charge of Hydra. That's simple enough. But do we allow Killmonger to the resources of Wakanda? I mean, he was a Wakandan king after all, in Black Panther. Will Loki have the resources of Asgard? He was king for a while as well. Hell, would Thanos technically have Loki and the entire Chitauri army? I mean, they were technically his lackeys in the first Avengers movie. Do you see what I mean by things getting confusing? Yeah, so we're just going to try and keep it simple and leave the evil organizations and the armies out of it. So starting off the list, we have Arnim Zola. During his life, Zola was a scientific genius and the Red Skull's right-hand man, but he was fat, short, and a coward. I mean, he was the only member of Hydra that was too afraid to take his life. Not much of a threat in any way. Then after his death, Zola was transferred into a giant room of computers, and while he did retain his intelligence and was able to help Hydra nearly take over the world, again, in a fight, not a threat in any way. I mean, Zola can actually never win, because he can never physically attack, and his opponent can never lose, because Zola can't even freaking attack. In this situation, and on this list, he is by far the weakest. Next up we have Justin Hammer. Well, Justin Hammer is the CEO of a prominent weapons manufacturer and Fortune 500 company. His main role in Iron Man 2 is to be the comedic relief. There are countless jokes made at his expense throughout the movie, from his weapons not working.
Yeah, I'd say most countries 5-10 years away. Hammer Industries 20.
I'd like to point out that test pilot survived.
I think we're done.
To his general incompetence.
Listen, is it the first time you've seen each other since the Senate?
Since he got his contract revoked.
Oh, actually,
when you were
it's on
attempting
hold.
to-
It's not.
That's not what I heard. What's the difference between hold and canceled?
Yes, what is?
The truth?
To, well, his weapons not working again.
Hammer tech? Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, Hammer kind of comes across as a prissy beta male, who definitely wouldn't be able to hold his own in a fight. While he's one of the best parts of Iron Man 2, Justin Hammer literally cannot be put any higher on this list. I just can't do it in good conscience. Alexander Pierce. Alexander Pierce is a bit old compared to everyone else on this list, but he's been a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra for years, so I'm positive that he's been through some sort of combat training throughout the years. He's clearly a decent shot, as he shot his housekeeper, and he's also got some high-tech weapons, as he used the electric shock things to kill most of the world's Security Council. So Pierce is a fighter, and isn't afraid to kill, and to kill in cold blood, but his age and lack of any serious training or skill really holds him back. Zemo. Baron Zemo is really unique on this list, as he's one of only out of, I think, 4 villains on this list whose plans actually succeeded. Him, Thanos, and you can count Loki for Thor 2 and Serdar after Thor 3. Thor really isn't good at actually stopping villains, because he was also the one who let Thanos succeed as well. But that's getting off topic. Because you see, even though Zemo was captured, he successfully tore the Avengers apart, and that split has lasted for several years, and is still ongoing. He was also smart enough to realize that he couldn't tear apart the Avengers, but they could tear themselves apart. That is some really great thinking outside the box. Baron Zemo is also a trained Special Forces soldier, and can more than hold his own in a fight. But he doesn't have any real superpowers, and his abilities of manipulation and planning can only get him so far. Red Skull. In order to gain his powers, Red Skull took a flawed sample of the Super Soldier Serum, the same thing that gave Captain America his powers. But man, that sample must have been really flawed, because Red Skull is nowhere near as powerful as Captain America. I mean, honestly, looking at what Red Skull has done, he's done nothing that impressive or noteworthy. He didn't take Captain America's shield, but it was just a stage prop, and not his indestructible vibranium one. And then other than that, his really only other noteworthy thing was getting into a fight with Captain America on the plane. And that fight was really more of a barroom brawl than the incredible fight choreography that we've come to expect from Captain America. The only thing that got Red Skull to this point is that he's superhuman. But even then, it's just barely. Crossbones. Brock Rumlow is without a doubt the best fighter that we've seen on this list up until this point. I mean, the guy was heading up a SHIELD Black Ops group for years, and he's killed who knows how many people. And then as Crossbones, he really upped his game. He gained super strength, so he can easily knock down security doors, durability to where he can withstand Black Widow's electrical shocks, and also has spike-like weapons built into his suit. And even though Crossbones lost in his fight to Captain America, this is a Cap who is, in my opinion, the greatest fighter in the MCU. So there's really no shame in that. And plus, to top it all off, Crossbones has absolutely no problem dying for his cause, with that cause usually being trying to kill someone. Ulysses Klaw. Oh man, here's one of my absolute favorite villains in the MCU, Ulysses Klaw. And really, we're not talking about this guy nearly enough. He's a true scene stealer in Age of Ultron, and one of the best parts of Black Panther, a movie which is filled with tons of great parts. He's just chewing up the scenery whenever he's on the scene. It's probably certifiably insane, and Andy Serkis just looks like he's having the time of his life playing him. Plus, Klaw is definitely able to hold his own in a fight. He wasn't fazed at all while confronted by Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and tried to hold his own in a fight against Black Panther, who's one of the best fighters in the world. This guy has a serious set of balls on him. He's also got his arm cannon, which at full power destroyed a vibranium car, which is just insanely impressive, mostly because vibranium is supposed to be indestructible. But he's not really that much of a fighter besides that, and plus, his borderline insanity will make him an easy target to take down as well. Corta the Pursuer. Corvus the Pursuer actually has a lot going for him, besides just a kick-ass name. He's a Kree, which means that he is much stronger and more durable than human, and is actually just as strong and durable as Drax the Destroyer. Korra is also a skilled fighter, as he's a ruthless mercenary. He's actually trained extensively alongside Gamora and Nebula, daughters of Thanos. Unfortunately, we've never really seen him using his combat skills, as he was outsmarted by Star-Lord and then killed in his battle with Drax. And that's another thing. Those metal electronic things on the side of his head can instantly kill him if they're ever removed, which is honestly just terrible planning. Korra probably thought they made him look cool or more badass, but clearly not a lot of foresight actually went to that decision. Nebula. Nebula is a mercenary, assassin, the daughter of Thanos, and kind of the biggest sadist in the galaxy. She's got superhuman strength, durability, agility, and speed. And all that is even greater because of her cybernetic enhancements. You see, after every fight that she lost with Gamora, Thanos would replace a part of her body, so she's actually more of a cyborg than anything. Now, these cybernetic enhancements not only increase her strength and durability, but also give her an incredible healing factor. It looks really creepy, but it is super effective. Plus, Nebula is one of the absolute best fighters in the entire universe. Proxima Midnight. I'm kinda torn on Proxima Midnight here, because on one hand, she's physically more powerful than humans, was able to battle against Scarlet Witch all by herself, and was even able to overpower both Black Widow and Okoye during the Battle of Wakanda. Those are some very impressive feats, and if that was all she had shown us, then she'd probably be put higher on this list. But it's not. You see, I remember when Proxima Midnight was taken down and just trashed by Falcon, Black Widow, and Captain America. And yes, she was caught off guard, but she's supposed to be a highly skilled fighter, and she should have been able to recover and fight back at least a bit better. I mean, it was so bad that Widow stole her own weapon and then stabbed her husband with it. That's just pathetic on Proxima's part. Plus, she was killed by Scarlet Witch because she was caught off guard. So clearly, being alert in a fight is not her strong suit. Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes is one of my absolute favorite characters in the MCU. And as the assassin, the Winter Soldier, the man is an absolute beast. He was more than able to hold his own against Captain America. Just plowed through a massive amount of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents like they were nothing. And is also absolutely brutal and ruthless, having no problem killing anyone in his path. Plus, Buck is a super soldier just like Steve, and his cybernetic arm gives him greater strength, and the arm is bulletproof as well. Winter Soldier is also an excellent fighter and a shot, and is arguably the most accurate guy in the entire MCU. Killmonger. Here's another one of my favorite characters, one of the best villains in the MCU, Erik Killmonger. He's a trained soldier, and has been fighting and killing people for decades. He's actually even one of the best fighters on Earth, as he did beat Black Panther when they were on equal footing, and defeated 4 members of the Dora Milaje all by himself. Then, after Killmonger took the heart-shaped herb, well, he essentially became a super soldier, just like Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Black Panther. Then with the Golden Jaguar suit, he's even more powerful. You see, the suit can absorb kinetic energy, much like Captain America's shield, or I guess like Black Panther's suit, and with that, it's essentially impervious to all attacks. Not only that, but he can also use his kinetic energy to unleash an omnidirectional blast that can pretty much destroy anything in its path. Corvus Glaive. Corvus Glaive is one of the most formidable members of Thanos' Black Order, and possesses considerable superhuman strength and durability. In fact, he was able to battle single-handedly against Vision, and was even able to overpower Captain America, who was strong enough to momentarily hold back Thanos. He was also a skilled enough fighter to defeat Steve, one of the best fighters in the MCU, and was only Vision's interference that saved him. Then Corvus' most powerful weapon is his glaive, which is able to slice through pretty much everything. It was able to slice through Vision's vibranium body, and even slice through the beam that the Mind Stone projected. But he was stabbed by Black Widow and almost killed, and was also quickly defeated by a team of Natasha, Steve, and Sam. So that's clearly not the best showing for him. Vulture. While Adrian Toomes is just an average middle-aged man, he's been equipped with a flying mechanical suit built from salvaged Atari tech. It's a powerful winged harness that uses jet propulsion systems to fly at high speeds and soar through the air in a similar manner to Falcon. It also gives him superhuman strength and durability, to where he can overpower Spider-Man and rip through concrete and Stark's jet. It's also outfitted with a pair of talons, and the wings contain double sharp blades, which can cut through things like in a scissor-like fashion. Vulture is a powerful villain, and his ability to fly, along with his strength and durability, give him an advantage over really anybody who's stuck on the ground. Ironmonger. Just like Vulture, Obadiah Stane is a normal middle-aged man, But he's got the Iron Monger armor, which was reverse engineered from the Iron Man armor and has many of the same capabilities as Iron Man. He's strong enough to lift at least 50 tons, and the suit is made of omnium, a steel alloy of invincible strength, which was specifically made for the Ironmonger suit. It's also superhumanly durable, can stand up to attacks from Iron Man, and can fly. The suit is also equipped with a minigun, rocket launchers, and shoulder-armed missiles. However, while the suit is powerful, it does have a lot of exploitable weaknesses. For starters, it's slow and cumbersome, and its massive size doesn't help with any of that. It's not able to fly very well, as it can't function at freezing temperatures in the upper atmosphere. And a lot of its core mechanics and wiring is set up on the suit's exterior, where it can be easily damaged, and overall the suit isn't very powerful compared to Iron Man and the other heroes in the modern MCU. Yellow Jacket. Using the original Ant-Man suit and the PEM particles as a basis, Darren Cross designed the Yellow Jacket suit to shrink approximately to the size of an ant. The suit grants him superhuman strength when he shrinks down, as it enhances its density and compresses the energy and physical force of the user, giving him the striking power of a bullet. The Yellow Jacket suit also has 4 mechanical stingers, which can fire powerful intense energy blasts that can easily kill people and rip right through walls and other objects. Then these mechanical tentacles also act as highly advanced jets and thrusters that allow him to fly. Aldrich Killian. Due to being infected by the Extremis virus, Aldrich Killian became an incredibly powerful superhuman with a ton of abilities. He's got superhuman strength that allows him to tear through several Iron Man armors with his bare hands, and agility to where he can effortlessly dodge Tony's blasters. The entire point of the Extremis virus was to heal disabilities and diseases, and as such, he's able to heal from most wounds almost instantaneously, regrow severed limbs in seconds, and even survive massive explosions. He's also able to heat up parts of his body, so he can burn through steel, tear apart Iron Man suits, and he even has the ability to breathe fire. Ghost. Honestly, Ghost is one of my favorite, and one of the coolest powers in the MCU. Her intangibility. She can phase through solid objects and living beings at will, and she can choose whether to become solid or intangible. Ghost is able to use her powers to quickly evade attacks, and then unleash a counterattack, like phasing through a table while smashing Wasp into it, vault through a truck, and then use the momentum to knock a henchman off of his motorcycle, or phase through Hank's van before solidifying to kick Wasp onto the street. She's also able to solidify herself while phase through solid matter, so that she can easily kill people. She was able to phase her hand into a man's chest and instantly kill him, and threatened to kill Hank by phasing her hand into his throat. She's also able to pass in and out of the visible spectrum, turning invisible, and she can amplify her physical attacks, like launching Ant-Man through several walls with just one kick. Basically, at the end of the day, Ghost is very powerful, and she can even phase through any and all attacks, making it almost impossible to injure her. Whiplash. Ivan Vanko hated Tony Stark, and really the entire Stark family, and so he designed and created the Whiplash armor in an attempt to kill him. The Whiplash armor is also a combination of the energy cable technology that Vanko created, as well as the armor suit technology built into the Hammer drones. The suit is superhumanly strong, durable, fast, and agile, and is actually able to battle 2-on-1 against both Iron Man and War Machine. Then the second version of Whiplash has even stronger energy whips, and he can swing them faster and cause more damage than before. With these energy whips and all the other powers the suit has, Whiplash was able to momentarily defeat both War Machine and one of the strongest versions of Iron Man we've ever seen. And the only way they could defeat him was with a special trick. And then to top it all off, he's got a built-in self-destruct feature as a last resort attack. Caecilius. Caecilius is a sorcerer and a former member of the Master of the Mystic Arts before he became disillusioned with the Ancient One and joined forces with Dormammu. Caecilius is one of the most powerful sorcerers on the planet, and with the help of numerous artifacts and relics, in addition to his astral powers, he's able to gain access to a multitude of mystical powers. He's even skilled enough and powerful enough to hold his own against his former mentor, the Ancient One. Caecilius is an expert using manipulating Eldritch magic, and after performing a ritual to tap into the dark dimension, he gained the power to manipulate space. He's able to manipulate the mirror dimension, conjure space shards as weapons, send shockwaves to the ground to destroy surroundings, and even resist the effects of the Time Stone's time manipulation. Malekith. Being a dark elf, Malekith is a superhuman, and is much more powerful than even fellow members of his race. He's strong enough and powerful enough to wield an Infinity Stone. With the Ether, he was strong enough and durable enough to battle against Thor one-on-one for an extended period of time. He was able to unleash blasts, tendrils, and spikes of energy that are powerful enough to temporarily overwhelm Thor. He is also able to teleport and suddenly appear in front of opponents, turn matter to dark matter, and vice versa, and even manipulate his size, as he was able to grow 3 times the size of Thor. Loki. Loki is a frost giant. It's just that he's enchanted to look like an Asgardian. Regardless though, he's superhumanly strong enough to overpower Captain America with little effort, easily plow through frost giants and dark elves, and is even strong enough to handle an Infinity Stone. He's durable enough to survive a devastating attack from Hulk, although he was taken out of the fight from it, and was able to hold his own against Thor, even though Thor was holding back at the moment. But Loki's greatest asset is his magical ability. He's able to cast countless illusions that consistently fool everyone around him, and even take the appearance of anyone he can think of. He's able to mentally manipulate most anyone, even Odin himself, and can conceal his presence by simply tricking other people's minds. He's able to conjure weapons at the drop of a hat, and can unleash telekinesis in his fights. Cull Obsidian. Cull Obsidian is a child of Thanos, joining him in his quest to obtain all the Infinity Stones and becoming a part of the Black Order. He's the muscle of the group, as he even believed that he could fight Hulk when he got to fight Hulk for his master when Hulk fought Thanos. I mean, Hulk probably would have ended up beating him, but it does go to show how strong Cull is. He's also strong enough to momentarily overpower Bruce in the Hulkbuster suit. Although this could be partially attributed to Banner's inexperience in the suit, and he did end up coming out on top in the end. He's durable enough to battle against Iron Man and Hulkbuster, as well as taking a full blast of Black Panther's kinetic energy, all with no side damage. Then he has a deadly weapon that functions as both a hammer and a claw. Abomination. Emil Blonsky was a decorated war hero who was injected with a variant of the super soldier serum in World War II, then later was infected with Hulk's gamma-irradiated blood, making him a gargantuan, Hulk-like monster. He's as strong as the Hulk, but unlike Bruce, Abomination's powers don't increase as he gets angry. Abomination is as durable as the Hulk, has an incredible healing factor, and is even able to produce large spikes on his arms, elbows, back, and feet. And with these spikes, he was able to injure the Hulk, and even drive it deep into his chest, cutting right through his extremely durable skin. Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is a child of the Mad Titan, and one of the most powerful members of the Black Order. He is a ridiculously powerful telekinetic, and is able to move and manipulate objects literally any way that he desires. He sent Iron Man flying, knocked aside Spider-Man by sending a billboard flying at him, and even angled away Cull Obsidian when the latter was sent flying at him. He was able to quickly slice through the car, sharpen spikes out of debris, and send them hurtling back at Doctor Strange and Wong, and was actually able to even defeat both Doctor Strange and Wong. Ebony Maw is even powerful enough to restrain Thor and silence him, even when Thor was trying to bust out. Ronan the Accuser. Ronan the Accuser is a Kree fanatic whose one goal in life is to wipe out the scourge known as Xandar. He's the strongest and most powerful amongst the Kree, and is actually worshipped for his great power. He's able to absolutely trash Drax the Destroyer, throwing him around like a rag doll, and then he's powerful and durable enough to withstand the immense power of an Infinity Stone, which had just earlier killed someone simply because she touched it. Then with the Power Stone, man, it just takes Ronan to a whole other level. He easily destroyed the entire Nova Corps, had the power to wipe out an entire planet with a touch, and even said that Thanos is no longer the most powerful being in the universe, but he is. However, what holds Ronan back from being even higher on this list is his incompetence. I mean, seriously, he spent the entire movie obsessing about this one thing, and then he had the chance to do it. But he was distracted by a guy dancing? That's just sad. Plus, if you're able to destroy Ronan's hammer, well then you severely depower him. Ultron. Ultron was created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner as a way to protect the Earth from any oncoming threats, but instead, Ultron ended up trying to destroy the world, and became one of the Avengers' greatest villains. His vibranium armored body is superhumanly strong, and he's able to battle against both Thor and Vision, and even strike so hard that he caused the Norse god to bleed. He's also superhumanly durable. He's taken attacks from all of the Avengers and stood up to them, and even withstood the combined blast of Thor, Vision, and Iron Man for a while. But the thing is, Ultron isn't one body. He's a program, and because of that, he's insanely hard to kill, and can always just transfer his consciousness into another body. He's able to fly through the air at high speeds, and even manipulate gravity, allowing him to pull opponents toward him, or throw large objects at enemies. Ultron is also able to unleash powerful concussive force blasts at opponents, as well as manipulate the temperature of his hands, similar to Aldrich Killian. Finally, Ultron operates as a hive mind, meaning that when you're fighting Ultron, you're fighting an army of Ultrons, because his sentries are just an extension of himself. Hela. Hela is Asgardian goddess of death, and is probably one of the most powerful Asgardians ever, second only to Odin himself. In fact, she's so strong and powerful that she was able to defeat all of the Valkyries, wipe out the entire Asgardian army, and not even Thor and the Avengers could defeat her. Probably only Odin and Serdar at full power are some of the few beings who can defeat Hela. She's an incredibly skilled fighter, as she was able to defeat Thor on multiple occasions, just trash the entire Asgardian army, and even defeat the Valkyrie, who were the elite of the Asgardian warriors. She's also able to manifest various weapons at will, with her go-to being the Necro Swords. These weapons are so powerful that they were even able to pierce through Surtur. Speaking of Surtur, he's coming in next on our list. At his full power, Surtur is one of the most powerful beings in the Nine Realms, and in the entire cosmos. After being resurrected by the Eternal Flame, he was able to single-handedly bring about Ragnarok, easily defeat the very powerful villain Hela, and completely destroy Asgard. Surtur is able to create flames that was able to engulf all of Asgard, and he's also got the Twilight Sword, which swiftly sliced apart Asgardian palaces and destroyed Hela. Ego. Ego is a celestial, which is a primordial race of brain-like entities with vast powers. For starters, he's immortal, has been alive for millions of years, and can only truly be killed if his brain is destroyed. He's superhumanly strong and durable, can manipulate matter on the molecular level, and can construct various weapons and a giant version of himself. He's even been able to use his molecular manipulation to create a planet around his brain, a planet which he can manipulate down to the molecular level. But he can't just manipulate matter. Ego can also manipulate energy. He's able to create massively powerful light tentacles, light beams, and even turn into light form. At the end of the day, Celestials are some of the most powerful beings in the universe, have incalculable strength, and are essentially gods.
A celestial like a god?
Small G, son.
Dormammu. Dormammu is the cosmic conqueror, destroyer of worlds, and is a being of infinite power and endless hunger. He's on a quest to invade every universe, and bring all worlds into his dark dimension. You see, Dormammu is the absolute ruler of the dark dimension, and has absolute control over the dimension. he can manipulate it any way that he chooses, using the dimension itself to form his face or other parts of his body. He's also able to use the dimension's power as a weapon, using it to kill Doctor Strange over and over and over again. Dormammu is also immortal, as the Dark Dimension is a timeless entity, and it makes him a primordial precursor to time itself. Then finally, the most powerful villain, and really the most powerful being in the MCU is, surprise surprise, Thanos. You see, with all 6 Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet entirely constructed, Thanos is nigh omnipotent, and was famously able to kill half the life in the universe with the simple snap of his fingers. But it's not just that. He's able to manipulate space, time, power, minds, souls, and reality, and literally any way that he sees fit, meaning that he can literally do everything that he wants. But it's not just that Thanos is the most powerful being in the universe, and can literally do anything and everything. He's also one of the 2 villains in the MCU who actually succeeded in defeating the heroes and achieving their goal. You see, other villains just weren't powerful enough to come out on top, even powerful beings like Ego, Dormammu, but others had the power and just couldn't make it come together because of their incompetence. Like Ronan had the power to destroy Serdar, but yet he couldn't, because he got distracted by a man who was dancing. Thanos has the strength and power, as well as the ambition and the focus, and that is why he is the most powerful villain in the MCU. But what do y'all think? Who do you think is the most powerful villain in the MCU? Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just like this one every single day, and I'll see you next time.